Yes, what's going on? Your main man Dice back up in here. Another episode. I forget what number this is 16, 17. Who knows, man? Great last episode. A lot of feedback. People hit me up. So that was good. I appreciate the engagement, suggestions, and everything. Comments. My mama told me look at the camera more often. Um, for better eye contact so I can appear to be connected with you, the viewer. But sometimes I be, zoning out. Anyway, NBA Finals, 2024 Finals. Your boy been saying the Boston Celtics are going to take for the longest, and right now they're up 2-0 over the Boston Celtics. If you've been watching the series, couple obvious things that stand out. Number one, Porzingis looked good coming out the gates. Game one, he suffered an injury in game two. He's questionable at this point going forward, so we're going to monitor that. But he came out looking like gangbusters. Jaylen Brown looking crazy. Tatum, was playing well, playing efficient, and all around game. And then the second game, Holiday killed them for 26 points. So Boston, they're looking like who we said they were. Dominant, deep team, 1 through 8. They have a lot of depth, a lot of skilled shooters, perimeter players, good defenders. They're blitzing, they're forcing the double teams, they're making Dallas's primary playmakers a little uncomfortable. Luke out there looking kind of lost defensively. I mean, he was never an all NBA type defender, but leading up to the finals, at least he showed effort and awareness. He out here looking kind of just lost. Yeah, I know he had a little injury, man, but come on, no Luka. Kyrie, shout out to Kyrie. I'm not trying to say I'm a Kyrie Irving whisperer or a human behaviorologist or any of the sort, but just watching him, it seems like Kyrie is conscious and aware of the back and forth he has with Boston. He looks like he's aware that the Boston crowd is trying to get underneath him. So he's trying to play yeah, I'm not gonna let you guys get to me. I'm just gonna play my game. But that in itself is distracting him from playing the game. It's like he's trying to convince us, the Boston crowd, the viewers, everybody watching, that the Boston Celtics crowd is not affecting him. But it kind of is. And I'm not trying to take any credit away from Boston defenders either. I mean, Jaylen Brown's doing his thing. Derek White is doing his thing. I mean, they locking up. Even Sam Hauser and Pritchard at times. But I got to assume a player of Kyrie's magnitude who went through the whole Western Conference playoffs, including Anthony Edwards. I mean, Anthony Edwards, his body type is similar to Jaylen Brown, like a 6'5", 6'6", 6'7" wing, active, defensively, athletic. So, if he did not have that much trouble with, Ant-Man, I don't see why he's having that much trouble, with Boston defenders. It just leads me to believe that crowd is affecting him a little bit, but I'm glad the way he's reacting. He's not acting petulant. He's not acting vindictive or bitter. Yeah, it would be nice to see him, express himself through his game, respond with like a 20, 30-point game. It hasn't happened so far, but that's just the impression I've received so far. I'm thoroughly confident that when Kyrie returns to his comfort confines in Dallas, American Airlines Arena, I think that's the name of the arena still. All the emotional support and from his family, home base, sleeping in his own bed, the home crowd cheering him on. I'm sure he'll do well. And actually, I wouldn't be surprised if Dallas blows out Boston Game 3. But I'm looking for, a good series. Dallas has to win Game 3. If they don't win Game 3, it's a wrap. Even if they win Game 3 and then lose Game 4, 3-1, it's better than going down 3-0 and then winning Game 4 to go back to Boston 3-1. If that makes sense. So Yeah, man. Boston just looking crazy. Joe Mazzulla's actually out coaching Jason Kidd, believe it or not. He's really out coaching Jason Kidd. And not just schematically with the X's and the O's, just strategy wise, in terms of rotations, defensive matchups. And by the way, speaking of matchups, it's so funny. And JJ Redick, he made a comment about this during the telecast for Game Two, regarding Jason's Kidd's comments, saying that Jaylen Brown's the best player on the team. And JJ Redick says something like, uh, playing mind games when the other team knows you're playing mind games kind of defeats the purpose of playing mind games. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the actions speak louder than words. Dallas is putting their best defenders on Jason Tatum. He's seeing double team. So if Jason Tatum or Jaylen Brown was the best player on the team, Dallas would have their best defenders on there. So, but not to knock Jaylen Brown, and he's eating, he's doing his thing. I love that 1-2 combo. Boston's Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. All right. And we're going to just speed through, not a long show this week. Last week we had a 53-minute show. That was crazy. My style, 25, 30 minutes at most. But anyway, um, have you guys been keeping up with the Young Thug trial? I know I haven't. I just been keeping up, with sound bites and clips from Instagram and so forth. But evidently, and he had like a bad, meaning Young Thug, like a baddie white girl lawyer on this team, on this council, on retainer rather. And I heard today one of the, I don't know, co-defendants, YSL co-defendants fired her or something like that. Just the other day, Young Thug's lawyer Brian Steele uh got arrested in the court for contempt. He's going to do like a 20-day bid, and he asked the judge, he requested to share the same cell with Young Thug right next to him. He said so he can better prepare his case, and he can stay in contact and communication with his client. Wow, I had no idea a lawyer can be arrested and still represent his client. You know what I'm saying? That's just news to me. But this is so ghetto and just surreal. I'm like, it's like watching a case from the Twilight Zone. And if I'm Young Thug, I mean, shout out to him, for keep black lawyers or consultation or, people around him he's being loyal to. But you really can't feel this comfortable or confident, man, if you Young Thug seeing this debacle, this spectacle. I feel like I'm watching the episode of Martin or something, man. Matter of fact, you'll be better off with Perry Mason Martin representing you than your current consultation right now, Young Thug. And then Will Smith, Stephen A. Smith was on his show recently, and I'm just going to distill and summarize what he said. He's asking for Will Smith to explain himself for the Chris Rock smack. Let me put it clear. Will Smith does not owe black people an explanation or anything. We know what it is. It's like when Tupac got shot and killed in Las Vegas and people trying to act like it's a conspiracy or wondering what happened. Once I saw that videotape of Pac stomping out Orlando Anderson in the hotel lobby, I knew what it was. I know gang politics, just like I know black women politics. I'm sure Will Smith didn't want to do anything to Chris Rock, but once your wife, the person who you go to sleep with, you live with every day, once she gives you that look, you got to do something to her satisfaction. You know what I'm saying? So cussing this man, Chris Rock, out on stage and walking on stage and duffing him, you know what I'm saying? That's what I guess the situation required for him to do to satisfy his black queen, his black woman. So I get that. Like Will Smith did not want to take that long ride home, quiet in the car, and you can hear all your wife's thoughts in her head. Then you get home, and it's going to be hell. It's like you got to choose the best of a bad situation, and that's what Will Smith did. I'm not condoning it. It would be nice if Will Smith embellished, explained what was going on, especially considering it was a public act It would be lovely for him to publicly respond and explain to us. It would be nice, especially in this age. We're so used to, clicks and clickbait and, scandal and tabloids and so forth. Yeah, it'll be good and juicy, but pause. But I'm not tripping. I'm not expecting that. I wouldn't hold my breath, you know? So that's that. All right. Here we go. Before I go to my next subject, it's going to actually be a follow up to last week's show. But before I do that, I got to play this, man. Hold on.
As far as me starting a podcast, it started with I'll be on the phone with a friend of mine, and we'll argue about sports. And by the time I look at the phone where I hang up, it's 2 hours and 17 minutes we've been arguing about sports, and I'm like, why did I let him drag me into this today?
Why did I let him drag me into this today? I promise you, I go through that all the time, y'all. All the time. Um, I could be at work or just somewhere in the middle of my day. I get a text that might trigger me, and I'm just like this. This is my phone. I'm just looking down, arguing at people on my text on the thread, going back and forth, get me all emotional. I'm snapping on people. My mom will call, what you want? You know what I'm saying? I'm snapping on like just strangers. Just get me out my mood. But that's how your boys would do you, man. That's just the love and the beauty of a good thread. So, most of my podcasts, my great episodes are actually on my phone. But yeah, so we gotta get back to this Drake Lamar, all right, situation. And then a homie of mine reached out to me. Let me read a couple of things that he said. And this is in response to the original show. I'm just gonna go back. Yeah. A homie had responded to watching the first show, last episode, dealing with Drake and Kendrick Lamar. And by the way, he called me a Drake sympathizer. He says, when you say burning the town down, how? Through music, through exposing embarrassing secret information about his ops. Biggie only recovered through Pac's death. Ja Rule never recovered. Little Flip and Benzino never recovered. I think Drake got to go off the radar for 3 years. Let people miss him. Best case scenario. How can you win the people who have all heard we don't want to hear you say nigga no more? Man. I didn't respond to those texts because I was trying to avoid the vaunted 2 hour 17-minute text back and forth on the correspondence on the thread. But I kind of feel like The Godfather Part 3. When I thought I was out, they pulled me back in. Like, why y'all making me a Drake? It would say a public defender. I guess I got to work for pro bono right now, man. But I promise you, as much as I want to hate, every time I want to hate on Drake, when he's put in a situation, he comes out looking kind of decent, though. Like, he does the right thing. He does the real thing. A quick couple of examples that come to my mind. With the whole Meek Mill situation, I said, yeah, okay, Meek Mill's going to bury him. He can never come back from being a ghostwriter. He beat those allegations. He came back with the back-to-back. The crowd loved him. What's the old line in Gladiator? Win the crowd, win your freedom. Okay, so he got that one. Then the whole Chris Brown, and chronologically, this may be off. I'm sorry. And then the whole Chris Brown situation when they had to fight. I'm like, dang, man, like, y'all really fighting, like millionaires fighting over a chick. And I found out that kind of like Chris Brown started the whole fight. And then Drake held his own down, squabbling, throwing hands, throwing bottles, protecting himself, defending himself. I'm saying, okay, all right. I mean, I can't be really mad at that. And then when he was beefing with Kanye, the whole Kanye situation, before they got together for that whole concert for Larry Hoover, he got on a LeBron James show, The Shop, and he was just breaking stuff down, going back and forth. I'm looking like, damn, Drake, you looking like the dude that's keeping us solid in this situation, you know. Meanwhile, the other person's older than you, been in the game longer than you, acting mad, childish, and just obsessed, like really obsessed with this man. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I couldn't be mad at him at that point, you know. So it's crazy because, and I'm not there yet, but a lot of the people who I rock with now, I used to hate back in the day, like really, really hate. And that used to be a good sign. Like I hated you. You know what I mean? It was something good. And that was the same for Jay-Z, Michael Jordan, Kobe, Biggie, and Tupac. For whatever reason, at some point, I hated all those dudes. You know, I'm from Detroit. I was there for that whole Detroit Pistons, the Chicago Bulls, Civil War. It was real. I hated Jordan for that. Came back and loved him. You know, when he retired the first time from the league, I was like, the league is dry. You never know what you got till it's gone. Tupac loved Pac, but then, you know, when he signed with Death Row and was throwing up the dubs and everything, I'm like, bro, you from New York, man. Like, I associate you with New York. Now you coming out shitting on NY, but I was young at the time. You know what I'm saying? I had to grow up and mature and see the things he was facing, what he was going through. What would you do if you was me? You know, Hove, I rock with Hove. I always knew he was nice, but it took an evolution. And I started with the Black Album and the song Minority Report. And he showed me his depth and his intellect and, you know, his vulnerability and passion. I said, okay, all right, Hove, I'll rock with you. Kobe, because Kobe, he took my dream. You know, I came from the Be Like Mike generation, you know, and to be like Mike and play in the league and just dominate like Mike did and influence a generation. And Kobe took my dream. And I was salty at him, but hey, I couldn't be mad at Kobe. You know, it is what it is. Once I went to his first All-Star game in '98 with my old man, and I saw him and KG just dominate that game over players that were there in their prime, like Grant Hill and, you know, MJ. I was like, okay, he's the truth, man. I came with that decision with the fork in the road. I could either hate for 20 more years or just embrace the truth. And I'm glad I did. And for the longest, I've been avoiding Drake. You know, I've never heard a Drake album or a Kendrick Lamar. No, I take that back. I heard two Kendrick Lamar albums, To Pimp a Butterfly and Down. But I haven't heard a Drake album. But it's like the more allegations he's beaten, the more respect I have for him. But I'm not sure. I'm not even sure what I said in regards to the first show. I'm not sure if I told the homie about the Frankenstein thing, but let me reiterate. Um, I feel like Drake is the monster that you guys created, the culture. All right. And it's been so long and everything was great. But then it took one man, meaning Kendrick Lamar, to just set things off and just like to change all y'all's perspective. Like that's very disappointing and disgusting of itself. Like you guys could be so easily swayed. Um, so yeah, he was the monster that Frankenstein created. And when my homeboy asked me, "What do I mean by burn down the town?" I mean to continue to do the shit that he did to fool you guys. You want to call it, you know, culture vulturing, whatever. Continue doing that, then Drake. You know, because the people must learn the lesson. See, the brunt of my ire has nothing to do with Drake. It has everything to do with the fickle public, the people. My homeboy, the same homeboy, he texts me, you know, who called me the Drake sympathizer and everything like that, who's so certain and so sure that Drake's life or his career is going to plummet. I said, bro, to say that suggests you have a lot of faith in the people, in the public, in the culture. I do not have that same faith in the culture. The culture for so long has showed me is very fickle, is disappointing, and it has no independent mind or independent thought of its own. The culture nowadays, they like to, when a big thing occurs or transpires, they like to throw their thumb in the air and see which way the wind is blowing. Okay, what's the crowd saying? Let me check Instagram and Instagram thoughts and the talking heads to see what they're saying before I formulate my own opinion. Because I'm scared to, like, you know, voice my opinion because it might go against what everybody is saying. No, no, I'm not with that at all. I'm not with that at all. So yeah, Drake is the monster you guys created. Just wait. You guys just wait to see what's the popular opinion, then you chime in and you agree and you go against what's not the popular opinion, even though it may be your own original or your own personal thoughts. You just guys like to wait and see what's the most popular opinion. What else did the homie say? Okay, he says Biggie only recovered through Pac's death. I don't know about that. I mean, Biggie was always doing him. I'm not sure when Hit 'Em Up came out, but I'm sure Big has some stuff going on. I'm sure he still has some traction. He was still active. Ja Rule never like, yeah, Ja Rule did recover from 50. Little Flip, I mean, Benzino, are these dudes even comparable to the guys we're talking about? I'm not putting Little Flip and Benzino in that bracket, in that level. Ja Rule, dude, he was killing the radio. He was on every song on the radio. Then 50 came by and it was like the raid to the roaches and just exterminated him. Um, I'm not getting that with Drake. You know what I'm saying? He's not canceled uh at all. Um, the homie sent me another picture or a text. This L's going to eat his soul forever. Nigga trying to act unbothered is so hilarious. That's why he limited his comments. I'm watching my son play soccer. I'm not worried about being a freaky ass OVO hoe. That's funny. I really think he's not bothered though, meaning Drake. I think people want him to be bothered so bad. Like it's like Drake is not thinking about none of these people. He ain't thinking about the haters, no none of that. It's not the same. I really don't feel that. I don't get that vibe. I really don't, man. I mean, if I did, I would be honest. I just saw a social media post yesterday with Drake at a party in Houston with mad people, uh, intermingling with the crowd, with Drake music playing. You know what I'm saying? Like he's not canceled. Again, I don't have enough uh I don't have enough faith in the culture. I don't at all. I don't have enough faith in the culture. I've seen the culture let R. Kelly pee on an adolescent girl. You know what I'm saying? We done seen a lot of things going on that we just we just let slide. A lot of things go on. And as long as you're popping, they're gonna look the other way. They're gonna look the other way. This reminds me of me right here. Now check this out, guys. This is me. This is a clip from Copland. I think this perfectly describes how I feel about this Drake situation. Once again, it's not about Drake anymore. It's about the people, the fickle people. I've been felt a certain way. I'm like, it's too late now. Burn down the town. Like the toothpaste is out the bottle now. You can't get the toothpaste back in. It is what it is. So in this scenario, guys, in this scenario, I'm Robert De Niro and Copland and the culture, the fans, there's Sylvester Stallone. Now let me paint the picture. And this is a clip from Copland. Robert De Niro, it's like Eternal Affairs or some kind of big cop from New York City, the city, and he's investigating some, bad cop, crooked cop activity in New Jersey. And um Sylvester Stallone is the sheriff in that town. And he's letting all that stuff go by. He's letting it ride because he's like throwing the blind eye. He's really being naive. And Sylvester Stallone, Sly, he's trying to like warn I'm sorry, Robert De Niro is trying to warn Sly Stallone, like, hey, you guys got a problem in your town. You need some help. Let me know. I know what's going on. Let me do something about it. Won't. And then Sly Stallone's like, no, it's all good. We ain't got a problem. And then all of a sudden it's a problem. And now he's coming back to De Niro for help. So check it out.
Excuse me, Mo. I apologize. I'm sorry for rushing in like this, but you were right. They tried to kill him, like you said, but he got away. Now he's running through the woods. He's like a scared animal. He's scared.
You know what? That motherfucker should be scared. His uncle got this case closed with one phone call.
Look, I'm sorry it took so long for me to come around.
Oh,
but you were right.
Oh, really? I'm so sorry. That's how I feel like the culture is saying with Kendrick Lamar. Oh, I'm sorry that it took me so long to come around. Oh, really?
I couldn't see the truth. Like you said, the evidence, my loyalties, they were confused.
They never give you any napkins in this place.
And that's me right there. Hearing all the points, the valid points that people are making about Drake. I'm like, really? Pass the great coupon, yo. I've been said that, man. Like, for real.
What am I supposed to use? You want this?
What is this? You came to me, to my town, with all these speeches, and you're talking about doing the right thing, and I'm doing the right thing. What's going on? What are you doing?
That was like 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago.
And that's me. I'm like, that was me 15 years ago, guys. That was me 16 years ago. For real. That was me 15 years ago.
What about Babbage?
What about him? Fuck him.
What about Donlin?
Fuck him too.
What about Joey Rendon?
Fell off a building. Did you read the papers? Listen, Sheriff, I'm really sorry to have awoken you from your slumber, but it's over. Hands are tied now. You shut me down.
No, listen to me. You're IA. That's why I came to you. You can do whatever you want. Remember, you came to me and said, you want to be a cop? I'm being a cop now. I'm here.
I offered you
for
a
some
chance.
help. I need to do something. I need to do this for
Listen
myself.
to me, you deaf fuck. I offered you a chance when we could have done something. I offered you a chance to be a cop, and you blew it.
Pause.
You blew it.
You blew it, Culture. You blew it.
You people are all the same.
That cupcake makes a mess. We got a case again.
Y'all got me out here protecting or defending Drake like I did. This remind me back in 2010, 2011, when I did the same thing for LeBron James. And I was not the biggest LeBron James fan in 2010 for a host of reasons, but like on court reasons though. Like LeBron always been a solid dude. Say what you want about LeBron, he a solid dude. He a real one, not just what it is. But you know, he did certain things that I feel like the media let him live. They just looked the other way because they were so slurping him, man. They were just so in love with him. Then the 1 minute, the one day, he decides to take his own career in his own hands, does nothing illegally, and then the whole town, the whole nation just flipped on him when them burners jerseys. Like, come on now. I ain't the biggest LeBron fan, but y'all tripping though. And that's why I kind of feel like about with Drake, man. Like, come on, man. Like, y'all being, I don't know, y'all being delusional. Either y'all being delusional or y'all been fake for 15, 16 years. I mean, straight up and down. If anything, I think the biggest point or the biggest for lack of a better word, factor in this whole story was J. Cole ghosting, you know what I'm saying, Drake. Like, where's his accountability at? And shout out to Kanye. I think I heard Kanye say, yeah, fuck you too, J. Cole. You know what it was. You trying to back out. Like, bro, like I could have respect J. Cole if from jump, from early. He said, I'm not trying to get involved. You know, I gave this man a shout out, called him Big Three. He rejected me. It's all good, peace and love. But nah, you answered, you put your hat in the ring, you had a diss song, you backtracked. You know, trying to take it all back. It's not good in myself. So now you're guilty now. And now you looking like this. Dang. Ironically, I guess Drake is Tupac in this. And ironically, I say because Kendrick Lamar going hard on anything related, you know, with Pac and Drake. But I feel like in this situation, J. Cole did Drake like still in Q. Like you see your man getting rushed on, and this made it 20v1. You seen your man getting rushed and you turn around, let him defend himself. That's another reason I got respect for your boy, man. No cap.
I didn't tell him shit. You got it wrong. Nah, punk, you the one that got it wrong. You've been asking for an ass kicker for a long
Oh, there go J. Cole right there. You gonna help me out, J. Cole? You gonna help me?
time. Man. Rocky, here to protect.
Nah, I'm good, yo. It don't feel good in my soul. I'm gonna just retract my diss track and be out, yo. It's not good for my soul.
No more.
Drake, like, all right, cool then, bro. Run it.
I don't need Raheem or nobody with no fucking punk spit.
Hey, I'm not mad at that, gang. I'm not mad at that. So, yeah, your man J. Cole, he needs to be more accountable and held responsible for his part in this whole situation, man. Like, he's a bigger part in the story. Like, I feel like a lot of people letting this man off the hook. But anyway, that's the recap for the whole Kendrick Lamar Drake situation. Love both. I'm sorry. Love Kendrick Lamar. Newfound respect for Drake. Like I said, man, I understand what's going on. They Not Like Us is great. It's amazing. They still playing this in New York. I still feel like it's more of a party jam or like a dance jam, like people playing that for the beat, as opposed to like when you play All Eyes on Me. I'm sorry, Hit 'Em Up. You know, those lyrics, you felt that in your bone, in your spine. You know what I mean? Like you played that for the lyrics, for the venom. So I don't think Not Like Us is hitting like that. Don't think that Drake is gonna get canceled again. Ain't gonna be no 5 months retired. Like Drake is so unbothered. I'm so serious. And not because I'm a Drake sympathizer. It's that once again, I have no faith in the system. I have no faith in the fickle culture. All he has to do is just has one song and he'll be good. He doesn't have to hide like Kanye did with the anti-Semitism talk and everything. Just fall back. He doesn't have to fall at the public eye like that. Yes, this is the first time Drake experienced an L on any kind of level, but it's not like it's like a regular season L, bro. Right before the All-Star game. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to affect his playoff seeding. He still has home court advantage. Put it like that. You know what I'm saying? Instead of going 17-0, he's what 16-1 now. You know what I mean? So it really doesn't make a difference. And once again, it's all on the culture. I blame the culture. I have no faith in the culture. And like I said, I'm not mad at Drake. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, man. If these same people, the same things I was criticizing Drake for, and they let it ride for 15, 16 years, and then because one man, Kendrick Lamar, finally said something, and then everybody changed up, that's disgusting to me. It's really disgusting. And oh yeah, my man also said that those other dudes, they had #1 songs and bigger hits and hits without Drake, but I feel like their biggest hits, their most notoriety came from Drake though. I look at what's the song with Big Rings. You know, that joint album, big. I got a lot of big rings. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm talking about. Big Rings, that album. And then Stay Scheming for the dude who called Drake the white boy. I think that's one of his biggest top 2 or 3 biggest like songs. So come on, man. And then ironically, Like That and Not Like Us, they were #1 in the last month or two, but it's Drake related, courtesy of Drake. Like if you wasn't talking about Drake, you know what I'm saying, it wouldn't be #1. I cannot be obsessed about a certain person or certain thing unless they get into me, man. Like I can't get that person that much power. I'm sorry. That's what it is. Anyway, thanks for listening. Another episode in the can. It's your main man Dice. I didn't remind y'all, but check me out on Twitter, on Instagram at Dicey World, DICEYW0RLD. Instagram DICEYW0RLD.com. Yeah, that's it. So holla at your boy. Peace.